Steve, we all know I'm sitting here in Indianapolis, and we know we evaluate players at the combine, but there is so much more that goes on in Indy, right? That is general managers, assistant general managers, talking to agents of free agents. There's discussions with teams and agents that are maybe going to be on the move. Some players may be traded, some players going to be released, free agents, what's the number? All of this goes on throughout Indianapolis, right? And I look for it, by the way. It's at like different restaurants, bars at night, corners of the of a hotel lobby. You're just like, oh look, there's an agent and a general manager. You have no idea what that conversation is about, where they're sitting in a corner, of the convention center. So much of the NFL's goings on happen in Indy that are not just these guys trying out and going through the underwear Olympics at Lucas Oil Stadium. It is the time for transactions, Steve, and you have been through this. Right? Because a lot of players, the players are not here. The NFL players are not here. They are across the country.
Vacationing.
As these things go on, I remember this happened to you Combine week.
First of all, when I played, newsflash, you know this. When I played, I loved the Combine. You want to know why?
Compete.
That was the time where I would sneak out to Utah or Vail and go skiing. Every Combine.
I know that. I've skied with you.
Every Combine, I would go skiing. So the Combine was going on because all general manager, heck, owner, coaches, position coach, quality control guy, scouts, they're not worrying about where Steve is.
No, Steve's on the
So
slopes.
I used to be on the slopes.
Yep.
And so the year that Dave Gettleman did his deal, I was on the slopes then.
Really?
And when I was on the slopes, skiing, right? And,
Good form. It's good form.
And then my phone's blowing up, and I find out, I didn't realize that my Carolina Panther career was over, right? Had a few people call me and was like, man, sorry. My agent at the time, Derek Fox, who's been my football agent forever, he was like, yeah, I had a meeting with Dave, and it didn't go so well. And then Dave doubles down, right, and says, yeah, and talks about me and Jordan Gross in the past.
Oh, Jordan. Let's go.
What that does is it really undermines all the messages of family that you've expressed. And then you're going to go out there when when they put the microphone in your mouth and they ask in front of your face and they ask a question, you're like, yeah, he's out of here. I just hope no other player has to find out that way. I don't think that that's the way you conduct business, because the same way that they don't want players to erase all the pictures on social media and do those messages, I hope that the general managers would conduct themselves the same way that they ask players not to do.
Did that hurt your feelings, Steve?
No, I'm straight. I actually, look,
When it happened?
I was shocked that it happened, but when he did, I was like, all right, bet.
Yeah.
Now, he thought I was going to come back and beg. Fooled you. I ain't doing that, right? And then when Jordan had retired, I was at, because that's my guy. We played college ball together. That's my dude.
Three of us have skied together, by the way. We've
Yes,
skied
we
with
have.
Jordan. Yeah, we have.
And so he's, I'm at Jordan's retirement deal, and Ron Rivera's over there, Dave Gettleman, the reporters, and they said, you going to talk to him? I said, they got my phone number. If they want to talk to me, they can talk to me, right? And so when we go back in time, man, if you wanted to let me go and you didn't like it, man, just have a conversation with me, right? You've always been about men and do this. He was always, this Italian, New York. And then when we got to it, he wasn't all about that action that he was talking about. He wasn't really about that business of conducting himself man to man. So, a little funny story. After I finally got him on the horn, because he did not want to talk to me.
How long did it take?
Bro, it took a few weeks.
Wow.
It took because when he first got back, he went home to New York, or he went and visited family. That's cool. But you just put one of your players out there without talking to him, and then now you avoid me, right? And so he comes back. We get in there, and so what I did is I said, bet. He can't avoid me. I go down to the facility, and I work out. Now, you know my story. I don't work out at the facility.
I know.
So I'm intentional. So I work out at the facility. Ain't nobody in the facility. Just me, trainers, Jackie Miles at the time is the equipment manager, and Donnie Toner's number 2, and Donnie Toner now is the equipment manager. So I'm in there. And then Brian Porter comes down. He's like, hey, what up, Smitty? I look at Brian Porter, right? And when I get frustrated, a lot of people don't realize this. When I get frustrated or I'm really upset, I actually don't get louder. I get softer. I get more monotone. I'm more of straight matter of fact. And I said, hey, Porter, go tell Dave Gettleman I'm down here. Love to talk to him. Brian said, you got it. So he walks upstairs and tells him. Then he texts me. Then I get a text from my receivers coach, Ricky Pro. Hear you in the building. I said, yeah, I am. Looking for men to talk to, unless you know any hoes that's scared to talk to me.
Oh.
He goes, uh-oh. Porter comes down and said he'll be ready in 20 minutes. I said, cool. So I'm on that I don't really care attitude. So I finished working out, drenched. I don't shower. I'm going to sit my sweaty, dirty ass right on that cloth chair because that's how I feel about you. So I sit down, and we talking. He's doing a lot more talking. He starts to go, hey, because when he first got there, he had asked me to read this book. It was called Halftime. And I love the book, actually. I read the book, and the guy who wrote the book lives here in North Carolina up in the Lake Norman. Outstanding book. And the book talks about what are you going to do with the second half of your life? I said, I ain't the smartest, but I sure the hell ain't the dumbest. I know exactly what he's trying to tell me, right? So I read the book, and he goes, we had talked about some things, and you didn't do them. And so I said, what didn't I do? This is when I knew it was going to be a problem. He gives me the finger to shush me. He goes, we're not getting into it. I did just like this. Who the hell is fat dude talking to? He can't be talking to 8-9. And yes, I said third person. When I get in third person, it's all business. Yes, it's kill mode. And I mean kill mode where I'm willing to risk whatever you're willing to risk. If you're willing to risk your life, I'm willing to take it. So he's going on and he's talking. And then I do, I love when I come into this, Captain Petty. I turned into Captain Petty.
Yes.
So you know what I did to stop him from talking? He said something that was critical and pivotal in the conversation. He goes, I don't want to burn any bridges. I went like this. He goes, what you looking at? I said, shit, that bridge is burnt. We already there. I said, no, I said, we straight. I'm good. I already know what's going down. I said, here's my thing. At the time, was expecting little Deucey Magoosey. And I said, all I need to know is I need to know sooner than later because I have a child on the way. And so I just want to make sure that I have the ability to be present for my fourth child being born so I can cut the umbilical cord like I've done with the rest of them. So all that you got going on, bro, whatever. I'm Gucci with it. Now, here's the part that I ended up having a conversation with him finally after I got traded. I mean, I got into media. Is I had to have a conversation at a private room in a restaurant here with Ron Rivera because what they call Riverboat Ron and
Riverboat Ron. Yeah.
Riverboat Ron, players coach Ron. Ron was sitting in his office scared like a little, didn't speak, didn't do anything. And so I personally had I don't fool with Ron Rivera. There's nothing more than having a peace of mind when you're traveling or at home or sleep and snuggling in your bed. But listen, Simply Safe has all the capability, AI-powered cameras. But when we talk about protection, most of the time, these security companies only help you after someone's broken in, but not Simply Safe. They can help prevent and also deter intruders from coming in. Hey, just take it from me. I travel a lot. Simply Safe keeps me monitored. I know exactly what's going on, and the notifications pop up instantly. Simply Safe is my go-to security system when I'm traveling on for work. So why wait? Protect your home today and enjoy 50% off a new Simply Safe system with professional monitoring at simplysafe.com/89show. That's simplysafe.com/89show. There's no safe like Simply Safe. I don't fool with Ron Rivera.
Really?
I don't fool with him. I don't believe nothing about Ron Rivera is what you see, what you get. He's a one-upper, and all he talks about is the 1985 Bears, what he did and who he was around. So I don't really fool with Ron. If Ron was sitting right here, I would tell him to his face exactly what I'm saying right now. I don't fool with him. And so I told Ron, I said, look, I got to talk about the Carolina Panthers. And so we could do this two ways, homeboy. Me and you can talk it out, or I will trash you every opportunity that I get. So I had a personal problem with way Ron hid. And Ron goes in the meeting. I haven't told this story. In the meeting at Ilias Noches, down the street from where I'm currently in North Carolina, Park Road right now, says, I was told to stay out of the way. All right. Because what happened was I was still living in Charlotte. I was going to, Thomas Davis, Greg Olsen, these guys are, Cam, they were having charity events and asked me to come. And I'm like, yeah, for sure. And Ron was there. And Ron would be like, hey, Steven, first of all, you don't get to call me by my birth name because I didn't allow you to. Then I told him, I said, man, I did the finger. Me and you need to have a conversation because you keep talking to me in public, but privately, you wasn't trying to talk to me then. So I got a problem with you. So me and you need to talk because the next time you say something to me in public, you might not like the response that I'm going to give you because it may be with sign language. And so he was like, all right, so we talked. But based off that, and people can say, oh, man, you still bitter about it. I'm not bitter about it. I just realize when I see guys up here on stages and they talk about what kind of coach they are and what kind of man they are. Mm-hmm. And I know in my situation, everybody's going to say, oh, you should have said this. Don't worry about all that because y'all don't really understand behind closed doors what kind of dude I really am. I never have a problem sitting man to man, face to face across nobody. Mm-hmm. All right. I tell a dude, if you don't like it, we can talk it out. Because I saw some folks in San Francisco that was chirping a different conversation when they saw me in person this past Super Bowl. Not saying who, not saying nothing. I'm using that as an example to say, what you see with me is what you get. I'm a straightforward dude. If I'm wrong, bro, I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. But don't try to downplay me. And so Ron had built up. Ron had sent me a text. You remember when they had the coaches meeting and you got to go back and look at it, where Ron said that he told Coach Harbaugh that he has to protect Steve from Steve because he practices too hard. I text Mike Shula, Ron Rivera, and Ricky Pro, and I group text all of them. And I was talking to Ron. I said, Ron, I'm going to let you know right now, the next time you open your mouth about me without speaking to me, I will open my mouth and your wife and family will read about how I really feel about you in the Charlotte Observer. So if you ever have anything to say to me, my number hasn't changed. And let me tell you, folks, my number haven't changed since 2008. So if you have anything to say, you can talk to me. Now, me and Slick Rick is still cool. We were talking about a couple of weeks ago. Rick was like, I remember when you sent me that text. He was like, uh-oh, Steve's on the prowl. Steve's hunting. And so for me, why am I bringing all this up? Man, I despise and dislike when these grown-ass men who are with organizations who stand up in front of a mic and say that I conduct business and I talk to my players, and some of y'all don't, bro. Some of y'all are fraudulent and y'all are hoe cakes. And you don't say what you really say behind closed doors, you hide. And I think the league has done a really good job, and I think some of the people who are general managers today actually do what they say. But some of them, I would rather give a crackhead $1,000 in cash and expect them to give me back some change before I ever trust Ron Rivera. Straight up.
Yeah.
And I'm a hood dude, so that means a lot. I trust a trap house before I trust Ron Rivera. I don't fool with him. Don't fool with him at all. I saw him 2 years ago. I saw him at Bandon Dooms. I'm playing golf. He goes, what you doing here? I said, the same as you, golfing. He was like, oh, I know you golf. I don't talk to you. And I kept it pushing. I don't fool with him, bro. If he was in my room right now, in my studio, at my house, it'd be some damn furniture moving up in this booch. I'm telling you that right now. Some furniture moving.